Welcome, everyone. I think we may still have a few more people dropping in, but we also may be at our capacity for today. So I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Heidi Oler, and I am the Engagement Initiatives Officer at the Community Foundation of South Puget Sound. We also have Mary Lamb-Witcher here, who is our Philanthropy and Communications Officer. So we're both going to be here, help to answer questions and we'll facilitate a bit of information that's going to come up through the webinar. But Sarah Wink, who is with Mighty Cause, our Senior Giving Day Program Manager, is going to be mostly sharing with you today. So I will pass it over to Sarah.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I'm very excited to chat with you all through just different fundraising tools that you'll have available on the platform as you start kind of gearing up your campaigns. We will be chatting through about 35 slides, so prepare yourselves. But we'll be chatting through peer-to-peer fundraising, matching grants. We're going to talk about your opportunities tool, which is a fun new feature that you all have access to. And then we'll tap through support and Q&A as well. So to start with, the first feature that we're kind of highlighting is your peer-to-peer fundraising. So if you are brand new to peer-to-peer fundraising and you're wondering what it is all about, these are kind of just some high-level kind of notes about it. We also call your peer-to-peer kind of your advocates for your organization. We call these ambassadors. So basically benefits of peer-to-peer, if you're thinking of using it this year, is one big one is donor acquisition. So peer-to-peer fundraising is really aimed to help you expand your donor database, give you more access to people who you might not otherwise have access to through fundraising. You're essentially able to expand your reach during your campaign. So you're having more ambassadors, people who already care about your cause, connecting with your work, and then they are sharing and talking about why you're important to them, to drum up more gifts and more dollars for you during the event. Peer-to-peer fundraising is also a really great way to deepen relationships that you already have with existing donors. when you're thinking about who to talk to about peer-to-peer fundraising, um, people to think about are people who already sort of have a relationship with you because they're the ones who want to talk about that relationship. So if you have existing donors, people who give year over year, you're developing a relationship with them, this is one way to deepen that relationship. Get closer to them, they can feel closer to the work that you're doing. And then, like I said, raising more funds. So just by, obviously you have a very limited amount of time. You're, working within your own database of donors. Sometimes it's harder to figure out how to get new donors, and this is just a really great way to do that. These donations, obviously, that your ambassadors are getting to their little fundraising pages automatically get added to your own organization page and metrics. So you'll be able to see those new donors and dollars raised in real time. And you'll also be able to pull reports with that new donor data so that you can continue the outreach to this new group of individuals. Your peer-to-peer fundraising setup. So kind of what this looks like. People are going to, your ambassadors, you'll talk to this network, but you'll also include process on how to get started. So the fundraise button is available on your organization page. It's right next to your donate button, so people can come and they can click fundraise. We have a kind of an automatic creation wizard that takes them through the setup, and we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. But one of the things they can opt into using is a fundraising template, which your org should take time to set up. This basically allows them to kind of pre-fill sections of their fundraising page. And then the individual, the ambassador, can go in and they can start updating, the title, they can update a goal and things like that, add their own content to really personalize the page so that they can start sharing that page with their network to get donations for you. This is what that experience looks like from the ambassador point of view. They'll come to your page, click fundraise. This is what that wizard looks like. They can click get started. The get started button is going to automatically use that template if it's provided. So definitely fill that out. We'll talk about that soon. And then they'll click build their fundraiser. And then that will populate the page that they can then kind of customize the content on. If they were to click other solutions, we'll talk through what those other solutions look like. But these are like team pages, and we'll talk through kind of best use cases for those as well. So kind of highlighting today the two most popular fundraising ambassador kind of peer-to-peer pages. You're going to have individual fundraisers, and you're going to have team fundraisers. So individual fundraiser pages, that's what that template that you all are going to create is going to help them kind of pre-fill in content. But this is essentially created by your ambassador or your supporter to collect donations in one area. And then you also have team fundraisers, which are made up of multiple individual fundraisers. And these really encourage, competition, friendly competition. There's a leaderboard on the page. There's, information about the team. So good examples of this are literal teams, like if you have, a local team of people who want to fundraise together, but they are still going to have individual pages set up. So this is kind of like an umbrella. Everyone unites under the team, but then they all fundraise individually on their own pages. School grades, if you have a board, this is a really good opportunity to get your board engaged during the giving event. You can create a team, and then your board members can create individual fundraising pages. And then it's kind of like a joint effort. There's metrics. So you can really follow along in the team progress and then the individual progress as well. Accessing your campaigns and your fundraiser templates. So these are going to be available to you on your organization dashboard. On the left-hand side, you'll see fundraising tools, and then that opens up your campaigns dashboard, and then also your fundraising templates section. So as part of your participation on the platform and in the giving day, you have access to one template. So you can either edit it if you already have one that you've been using, maybe you are involved in a different giving event during the year, or you can create a new one if you have not used it yet. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But your campaigns dashboard, this is where you can kind of track progress. You can see the different campaigns that were created. You can see how much campaigns have raised. You can see who owns it, the name of the individual. There's just a ton of information on this dashboard. And this is also where you can go to um, either visit the actual campaign if you wanted to see that page itself, or if you wanted to hide any out-of-date campaigns. So as you start, using the platform more, and this might, come up next year, um, but you'll want to make it kind of just a task for yourself to make sure everything that is active on your campaigns is something you want found in the search for Give Local. So if you participate in a different giving event during the year, you'll want to hide any discoverability for pages that you might not want to show in the Give Local search. So you can click the three dots next to the campaign and you can click toggle discoverability. Talking about that fundraising template, this really helps take the fear out of fundraising, as we say. Essentially, you are pre-filling a bunch of content so that when somebody, an ambassador, wants to fundraise for you on your behalf, they don't start with a totally blank page. Blank pages can be intimidating for people. So any content you can fill, super simple stuff. We're talking like maybe a generic title, a basic funding goal. You can start low. The ambassador can always increase the amount so they can make edits to the content that you've added to this page. But you can also add an image. You can add, content to the about section. So if you wanted every fundraising page to have your mission statement, for example, you can get that added in. But like I said, supporters, your ambassadors, they can still go in, they can still customize, they can still be creative on this page, and add kind of their own advocating story about why people should support you during the event. A couple things to remember when it comes to peer-to-peer fundraising. Um, as you are kind of thinking about peer-to-peer fundraising, or if you're definitely on board for it, you just kind of want to set goals for yourself so you can kind of track progress and see how things are going. And also just stay connected to that group of ambassadors. So one thing you don't want to do is to just say we have peer-to-peer fundraising available and then just never connect with that group of supporters. So you'll want to definitely have a plan in place, a communication strategy, a timeline for yourself to check in with these individuals, to keep them motivated. So kind of brainstorming what that looks like for you. And then, like I said, just setting goals. So maybe you have some specific peer-to-peer fundraising goals, like how many new donors do you want to get during the campaign? Peer-to-peer is a great strategy to grow donors, growing donations, just more supporters, things like that. Secondly, make sure you ask. A lot of people don't even know that peer-to-peer fundraising is an option. So you definitely want to create email blasts, talk about it on social media as an opportunity, and then kind of have like a next step in place to get people kind of onboarded as an ambassador for you. You can provide resources, tips, email templates. Just like Give Local has put together really nice toolkit materials for you, you all can start to kind of put together some templates for these ambassadors for your organization as well. Um, and then just, of course, track progress, keep them posted, especially during, the live event dates. Send out, periodic updates on your progress. Really make this group of individuals feel very connected because obviously they're putting in time and effort to help you, and you want to stay, close to that group of people. So I don't know if there's any questions regarding peer-to-peer, but I'm going to move into matching grants.
Yeah, there's nothing in the chat right now as far as questions, but if questions come up for you later, you can put them in the chat and we'll get to them after.
Perfect. Okay, so matching grants, this is another really great fundraising tool on the platform. Essentially, these are larger gifts that you use to leverage to bring in more gifts because it's enticing to people to be able to, double their impact. So essentially, definitely start the outreach to different grantors or, start prospecting for different people, different community partners, local businesses, large donors. If you know you're going to get a donor this year for the campaign and they usually give in a larger gift amount, you can talk to them ahead of time and see if they would be willing to leverage their gift as a match this year instead of a singular donation. People were very excited to do that. But start brainstorming right now. But these essentially are tools to really kick up momentum. If there's any lulls during the campaign, you can always generate more excitement by saying you have a live match, X dollars available between now and X time. That gives people, an actionable item. They're able to take advantage and say, okay, I have to give now if I really want to double my impact. Why they are successful, I've kind of touched on a little bit of these, but these are tools to create urgency. So your match is, a select time period, whether it's like a morning match or an hour-long match or a day-long match. They are able to encourage people to stop what they're doing and donate because the match is actively live. This is also obviously going to help people's money go further. So this is a really great tactic to get people to want to give. If I know that, I want to give, $10 or $20 to the campaign, but there's a match where I essentially get to double my impact, a one-to-one match is pretty standard. That's where, whatever the donor gives is matched in the same value. So that is going to entice people to give. If I give $20 now, I actually end up giving them $40 because I'm able to take advantage of the match. It also creates that clear, actionable CTA. So you're able to have a talking point during the campaign, adding to socials, adding to your, emails that go out. You have something to talk about to generate excitement and to create a button. So you can say, click here, we have a live match, donate now to double that impact. It's also going to empower those donors who give in smaller gift sizes. So, you have a range of donors who give in, different sizes, but often donors who give in lower amounts feel like their impact just, isn't important. They want to give, but does it really matter? So it's sometimes harder to get them to commit at that moment, but a match is going to empower those donors who give in smaller gift sizes. They're able to see, in real time the impact that their smaller gift is having because it's amplified by a match. Features on the platform. So as far as matching grants and the tool itself, is usable on the platform. We have flexibility on start and end times. I'll kind of walk you through the setup, a general setup, but we have a ton of great support articles that can speak specifically to you and the type of match you want to set up. But you also have the ability to queue matching grants one after the other if you are, one of those lucky ones that gets multiple matches from different grantors. You can also include the match amount in your total raised on your organization page, which we'll talk about. You can also optionally allow offline gifts that you log to take advantage of the match. Obviously, there's just a couple different matching types that you can choose during the setup. We have a really nice matching grants dashboard, so you can keep track of upcoming matches, past matches, live matches, and then you can, of course, also download all the data, the matching grant report itself. So as far as adding a matching grant to your organization page, this lives under your organization page, fundraising tools, left side menu. And this is going to open up your matches dashboard. And then at the top right, there's a button that says create a new match. So this is essentially the options available to you and what it looks like when you're creating. You can see that you can add the name of the sponsor. You can choose to hide the name publicly if that sponsor wants to be anonymous. You can add a logo. So if your sponsor has a logo, you can add it. If they don't, just add your organization logo. You can obviously create a title. You can queue the match. You can also set start and end dates and times. And then these are kind of the different options available to you. And we'll talk through some of those. But again, as you are thinking about matches, be sure to read our support articles on those because they go into much further detail. A couple different match types. So the most common one that you're going to see is that one-to-one match. So basically, when a gift is made, it's matched by the exact same amount in full until the grant is totally depleted. There's also other kinds that you can choose. So you can match a specific percentage of each gift. So that one-to-one is going to be a 100% match. You can match 2-to-1 if you want, 200%. You can also set, limits on how much of the match can be absorbed per donation. That's a very popular route to go especially if you have a smaller gift size that you're leveraging as a match. So we talk about matches being larger gift sizes, but they don't always need to be, huge $1,000 gifts. You can have something as, like a $200 gift from a donor. And by putting limitations on that match, by how much you're willing to, meet people at, you're able to stretch that match for a longer amount of time. More donors can take advantage of it. So that's basically an example would be maxing that dollar amount. Like you're willing to match 100% up to maybe $50 per gift. So if somebody has a $100 gift they're making, that's awesome, but they can only take up to $50 for the match. There's also cumulative threshold matches, which I encourage you to dig into the details on those. These are more like advanced, I would say like advanced level matches, where you have to get a certain number of donations in order to unlock the match, or a certain number of unique donors in order to unlock the match. Those are more complicated, but there's still fun ways to kind of promote momentum and get people excited and try and hit goals that you've set for your campaign. We also have match conditions. So these are, different, like I was saying, limits. So you can match up to certain amounts. You can also choose to include offline gifts in the match. So if you have a check you're logging, do you want offline gifts to be able to take advantage of the match, or do you only want online gifts to take advantage of the match? You can also choose if those ambassador peer-to-peer fundraiser pages are able to take advantage of the match. And then, of course, you can also apply once per donor if you choose to. A couple other settings. There's also an option for a match notification completion message. So you have to include an email, but you can choose which email gets notified once the match is depleted. Basically, an automatic email gets sent to this individual notifying them. And it also includes a button to pay online. So this is typically going to be your grantor who receives this email because they also have that button to pay online. But if you have, your own follow-up in place with the grantor and you would prefer to handle all that communication, that's fine. You can add yourself as the email, you'll get the notification, and then you can follow up individually with the grantor. You also can edit the match as long as it has not been closed. So once the match is closed, you cannot make any edits and you cannot delete a match. Only Mighty Cause support can delete a match. So if you run into any issues, reach out to our support team. They can help you out. But yeah, so if you need to make any edits, you can go next to the match, click the three dots, and then you can click edit. So one other setting I want to talk about in the match setup is a little checkbox called include match value in page metrics. And basically I always want to highlight this and clarify because sometimes it gets confusing for people. But basically this little indicator signifies that the dollar amount that your organization page this metrics on your profile, by keeping this box checked, as donors make gifts and as they are matched, your metric bar will raise by both the donor's gift and the matched amount. So keeping in mind that what they're matched by isn't actually fulfilled yet. Technically, you're showing fake dollars in real time, which is really exciting. It gets people excited. I made a $10 gift, but it actually went up by 20. So this allows your page to show that kind of fake dollars in real time as the match gets absorbed. But when it comes time to actually log the gift, to actually have your grantor make the online payment, or for you to log your offline check, you'll just want to make sure you hide that from your page values so that you're not accidentally showing it twice, essentially, which is if you leave it checked and you add that check offline, you'll be adding the match again, essentially. So if you ever see your metrics, your dollars not lining up and you have a match, it's most likely because you've left that kind of fake, exciting momentum money showing in your metrics bar. But yeah, there's two different kind of options here you can read through. And like I said, too long didn't read. You basically just want to hide the match value before you do any real money logging. And then when it comes to downloading your match data, you can access all your data and all your reporting through your matching grants dashboard. Next to each of the completed matches, there's three dots. You can click those dots, and that's where you can access like the individual full report. So if you want to see which donors were able to take advantage, that's where you can really pull all that really interesting analytics that you can then share with the grantor after the event. And then this is also where you go to hide that page amount, that amount from totals before your grantor actually makes their gift, before you actually add an offline to your page. Once your page actually has a match, this is what it actually looks like on the site. You'll get a nice fun little sticker on your donate button. You'll be searchable in the event search. People can filter in the search by active matches, which is really cool. So your page would come up as an option. But yeah, you get a little matching grant kind of a sticker. They click that, and then it hyperlinks down your page to the full tile with all the details regarding your match. And then in your reporting itself, you can see the name, the donor, and then you have a little info kind of hover icon. You can hover over that, and it tells you how much and of what match somebody was able to take advantage of. Pro tip, these little kind of tiles also show progress. So they'll be able to show you in real time how much is left of the match. These are really great, just easy content for socials if you want to tell people how much of the match is left, to really try to like get people excited and make them want to, go make a gift ASAP. Wrapping up your match, like I said, you can add that email of your grantor. That email is automatically sent and it tells, the person, hey, the grant has been completed, click here, and you can make your payment as an online gift. I do want to highlight that your timing for completing of a gift and having your grantor actually make their gift as an online donation is important to consider because if they have, $1,000, the match has ended, they're ready to actually make their online gift of $1,000 to your campaign. If they click that button and you have another match live, their gift will also be matched. So ideally, you're being kind of thoughtful about, when you want that grantor to fulfill their gift. Ideally, it's probably not when another match is live because that would eat up the match that's live. But yeah, they can pay via the link provided in the automatic email, or alternatively, you can log it as an offline gift if you have that match as an offline gift, as a check, for instance. And then just keeping on your radar speedy, personal, sincere thank yous. You want the experience to be really positive for your grantor. You want them to feel and see the impact that their gift had so that hopefully they want to do it again. That is not too hard to do because really people love data. They want to see the impact. They want to see how many people took advantage of the match. And that's really easy to do by downloading your report for your match. You can say, thank you so much for the grant. 45 people were able to take advantage of it, which, helped us raise, and meet these goals. But as you are starting to get into matching grants and starting to think through the process, we have really, really great support articles on Mighty Cause about matching grants. So highly recommend. I added a link here, and this will be available for you, these slides as well. But definitely check them out. They get really into the different options available. And then as you have questions that maybe this document doesn't go through, reach out to the Mighty Cause support team. They are so pro. They have seen it all with matching grants, so they can answer whatever questions you might have. I'm going to pass it over to you, Heidi.
Awesome, thanks. And I do see we have a couple of questions coming through. There was one about a day we had last year, which matched small donors. Mary, can you jump in here? I wasn't sure if that might
Yeah.
be relevant to what we're just about to talk to about, or if that's separate.
Yeah, so I'm curious myself, but the two things we've had in the past that, you know, uh, we might be referring to here is Giving Wednesday, which you're about to talk about. And that's not a match, but rather a random drawing where 5 community members can direct a $100 grant to a participating nonprofit. And then the bonus fund, which is a proportional match for all participating nonprofits, is back this year. It's seeded by the Dawkins Charitable Trust by $100,000, and then donors are invited to add more to that fund. And that's a proportional match that is distributed at the end of the campaign. So for example, if you raised 5% of overall Give Local totals, you'll receive 5% of the bonus fund match up to the cap of 7,500.
That's great. Yeah, so Mary kind of touched on these already. Our next slide is actually going to be about the bonus funds. So there may be a few more details there. And some of you may already be familiar with that. But as Mary mentioned, we've got those Give Local Wednesdays. So that's a good time to do some of those extra promotions. You know, just as Sarah's been sharing, a lot of these fundraising tools are really to kind of create some initiative for people to act now, right? So Giving Wednesday is one of those times where each Wednesday you can give an extra push to like, hey, give now, don't wait. And then you get entered to win that $100 for the nonprofit of their choice, as Mary mentioned. Just to mention too, so winners will get announced each week. So by the end of that week, we'll announce who those winners are on our social media and then also on the giving webpage. And then we will also send those winners a separate notification so they can communicate which nonprofit they want to donate that $100 to. And just to mention too, entries are limited to one per person. So if someone's, you know, giving 100 different causes, they'll still just get the one entry that day. You must make a minimum of $5 donation. And if the donor chooses to be anonymous, then they won't be entered into that drawing. All right. So, as Mary mentioned, we've got that $100,000 bonus fund again. If you want to, you can scan that tile right there with your phone. And then that gives you more details about which donations count towards Give Local and bonus funds. I'm also going to go ahead and drop that link into the chat right now. So if you want to click on this link I'm dropping into the chat. That'll just open up a downloadable PDF so you can grab that and just read a little bit more. That outlines more of the details around offline giving, which is new. I think everything used to have to come through the community foundation. So if a donor wanted to give by check, it had to be sent to the community foundation. Now the donor has the option. They can still send it to us. We'll process it on your behalf, or they can actually make it out to you and you can receive that check. The only caveat with that is that that has to be received in the giving event window, which is November 4th through the 22nd. So again, just last bit on the bonus funds. As Mary mentioned, you know, it is that proportional match and there is a cap. So if there is an organization that raises 20% of all Give Local, you know, money raised for the event, they will be capped at that 7,500 amount from the bonus fund. That just ensures that there is money to go around to everyone who participates.
Awesome. So last feature highlight that I'm going to cover is the opportunities tool. And this is found on your organization dashboard under fundraising tools, opportunities. But this is a tool that basically helps you share any, upcoming or ongoing volunteer opportunities or different calendar events that you might have on for your organization. And it gives you a space on the Give Local site where people can come and start to kind of see what's going on, and sort and filter and kind of find different opportunities and sign up for them. So like I said, it's available on your dashboard under opportunities. This is kind of what it looks like when you have to add an opportunity. So there's an option to add a new one. And then you can select what kind of opportunity it is. So you can decide if it's an in-person kind of event or volunteer opportunity, or if it's more of an online event. You can select that, and then you can decide volunteering or calendar specific. Once you have selected that, you can start to add specific details regarding the opportunity. So if it's a volunteer opportunity, where is it located? Who's the prime, point of contact for it? Where is it going to be hosted if it's not in person? So if it's a kind of a virtual kind of event, Do you have an Eventbrite link you want to share, or do you want it to be hosted through the Mighty Cause platform, which essentially hosted through Mighty Cause basically means people can register directly through the Mighty Cause platform for the event versus being sent to an external like Eventbrite or Facebook kind of link like that. And then you can add, different information regarding like capacity, waiver form uploads, things like that. You can add, which is really nice. It kind of keeps everything all in one place for you. Um, and then what it looks like on your actual organization page, once you have solidified details, you've created it, it's going to show up in a Get Involved. It's a new section that'll show on your org page. And then it'll show the opportunity as a tile. Somebody can click that tile and then it pops open all of that information regarding that opportunity. So they can read through it, figure out if it's the right fit for them, and then they can also click register at the bottom. So they can register, add their details, and then you'll get notified of the details. And then you'll also be able to pull like that report. You'll be able to manage the opportunity. This is kind of what that dashboard looks like. You can also click the little three dots to open up and see like the participants. You can email participants, edit it, an opportunity if it's kind of ongoing and it has an end date, you can do that as well. Email participants, this tool is going to give you the opportunity to reach out to participants by sending a mass email to all of them. And then Mighty Cause also automatically sends reminder emails to all participants the date of or prior to your event if it has a set time that you've enabled. We have a really great support article on this as well, so you can check that out as you're starting to kind of think about, different volunteer opportunities or events that you have that you want to add to the Give Local platform. And then once those start to get compiled together, we will add a tab to the Give Local site where people can come and start to browse those opportunities, kind of as like a searchable kind of area on the site. And then I want to touch on just resource reminders because you all have, a great toolkit available to you. So definitely check out your For Nonprofits tool tab on the site. You can see resources, FAQs, things like that. You can revisit recorded trainings. I just kind of check through all of those. And then there's a little call out for announcements. That's a sidebar that appears when you're logged into your organization page on the overview screen. Sometimes there will be announcements that pop up that Give Local wants you to be aware of. Support, as you saw on the last webinar, these are the resources available to you. Our team is happy to chat through anything, any kind of different fundraising tools that you might have more questions on, matching grants specific, peer-to-peer fundraising specific. So reach out to them, email support@mightycause.com, and they're available Monday to Friday. So those are all the slides. We did it in under 45 minutes. So we have plenty of time for questions if you all want to send those over.
Yeah, so Sarah and Heidi, we have a question in chat from Megan. One question is, do matches need to be paid offline and completed during the early giving period?
So as long as they're done during early giving or the giving event, so between November 4th and November 22nd, if it's offline, right? So if you've got someone who's a donor who wants to give you a check for a matching grant, then you would need to receive that check so that you can enter it in yourself on your platform, the payment, for that. I think the only way around that is if you have them say it's kind of towards the end of the giving day. So it's like November 18th and that match is running and it's going to complete here soon. And that donor is set on sending you a check rather than just paying online because once that match is fulfilled, they will get a link automatically where it allows them to pay online. But if they're set on sending you a check, they could actually send it directly to the community foundation because we'll have a little more buffer period after the event ends, whereas all the orgs, all of your capability to add in any offline donations is going to shut off. So there's a hard deadline there.
Yep. And then the other half of this question is, Sarah, when Mighty Cause says grantor, what do you mean?
Good question. So your grantor is the individual who is providing you the grant, the match amount of money.
you. We just got a question through Q&A. When can we start creating our page?
Great. Yeah. So as soon as you register, you'll go ahead and go to the spsgives.org site. So if you haven't registered yet, you'd register there. It sometimes takes a few days. Once you fill out your form, you send it on. Mighty Cause needs to just approve your admin side of things, set things up from there. So sometimes that can take a couple days. And then from our side, we review that registration form, make sure we have everything we need there, and we get you approved. So then once all of that is approved and you are on the site, you can start setting up your page at any point. You have access to your org page. You can start adding in your logo, background image, your campaign wording, yeah, and start setting up your fundraising tools.
Can we have multiple organizational users with different logins, or do we all share one login?
Go ahead,
I'll
Sarah.
answer everything. Yes, so you can have multiple admins for your organization page. So if you are already an approved admin, you can go to your dashboard and you can start adding additional users that should have admin access.
Yeah, and you can find that just at the bottom left-hand side of your dashboard. There's a spot that says users. So you click on that and then you can add whoever you'd like as an admin there.
Sarah, are we able to take live questions? Like, can folks raise their hand and talk through the mic? No. Okay.
And so I did just want to remark, just in case there was any confusion, because I know I talked about the bonus fund right after we talked about matching grants. And so I did just want to clarify that those are two separate things. So the matching grants are grants that you would secure from, people within your organization, supporters of your organization, and you can create those on your org pages. The bonus fund is this separate additional bonus feature of participating in Give Local, and that is coordinated through the Community Foundation of South Puget Sound, and it's provided by the Dawkins Charitable Trust. So that's something that we kind of calculate after everything closes, and that's why we have those hard deadlines on when everything needs to be in by the November 22nd. So then we can start to calculate the percentages of how much you'll get from that bonus fund. Fantastic. I don't see any other questions coming in. Um, so that's it for now. You can always reach out to me, Heidi at thecommunityfoundation.com. My contact's also on the website. I'm here to support nonprofits. And as Sarah mentioned, support at mightycause.com is also a great resource if you're having some functionality issue with a platform or just want to, have a question about navigating it, they are an amazing resource, and we're so happy to have them as our Giving Day platform or partners this year, which is a giving event. So many other foundations do one day, but we've got 2 weeks, which is awesome.
Heidi, we did get a new question in chat. And the
Perfect.
question is, we don't have to create a specific campaign to participate, correct? Just registering and having a page is enough unless board members want to create their own page.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. You want to, add some language to your org page that talks about who you are, like why people should give to you. But generally, directing all traffic to that main organization page will work great. All the other tools just add to it and they're optional. Awesome. Well, that might be it for today. And again, we'll make this recording available on the website. Mary shared that link, but if you go to the nonprofit resources, which let me see, I could pop that in. No, one sec. Let me pop that in just in case you haven't seen it already. It's our area where you can find the communication guide. So the communication guide gives a little synopsis of what peer-to-peer fundraising is. It gives you lots of tools for potential emails and social media timeline of promoting your event. So that's a great resource there. Oh, perfect. Mary got it. Awesome. And then there's also the FAQ section on our nonprofit resources, which is also great. And if you feel like it, you can also check out the donor section. There's resources, FAQs for donors. Sometimes reading through that is helpful for your own mind as well as you're preparing to communicate with your donors. So you can, help guide them or direct them to resources as they need as well. But if you have donors that need more complicated giving or have questions, you can also direct them to Mary. She'd be happy to help.
We have someone in chat remarking that they think they missed a link that you shared, Heidi.
Let's see. So there was. What was that link that you shared earlier in the meeting? Let me just go back to that.
I think
Here
it
it
was
is. That's
training,
to the training section. Yes. So
but
I'll pop that in
essentially,
right now.
yeah, essentially, if you navigate to spsgives.org, there's a drop-down menu for nonprofits, and we encourage you to explore all of those pages. That's essentially what used to be the nonprofit toolkit. We did get an anonymous question. Are we able to transfer info from last year? And I think the question is, will any of our data from the old platform be transferred over to our new one? And the answer is no. We did send out communications earlier this year encouraging folks to log into the old platform and download any information that they wanted to hold on to from that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, the old platform was bought out, so it no longer exists even. So we don't even have a way to get into that. But it's actually lucky for us because Mighty Cause is so much better. So we're so happy to be launching Give Local with Mighty Cause this year. All right, well, go ahead and close out for the day, but we look forward to seeing you all, online and during the giving event and seeing all your pages get built out. It's exciting. It's happening soon. All right, take care, everyone.
Bye.